Hello there, this is the Football Planet. I am Victor Mwishu. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up in this program, the last day of Zambia's Premier League was biting as it had 4 teams in line to win the title on the final match day. But Zesco United managed to edge 2016 winners Zanaco for the league victory on a total of 74 points. We have that report. And to matters Russia now, Friday's 2018 World Cup draw in Moscow means that we know which countries make up the World Cup groups, when the fixtures will be, and which stadium will host the team. Some national teams are pleased with their lot, but others not so much. We've gathered the reactions of supporters and coaches of some of the African teams heading to Russia. And Mauritanian football is on the comeback trail. The country's football federation is preparing to host an awards gala to reward the best of the best last season in the country. The gala will also have big names like Drogba and the CAF president in attendance. We'll later be talking to the federation spokesperson Brahim Sodea from Nouakchott. Now, last Friday's 2018 World Cup draw in Moscow's Kremlin means we now know which countries make up the World Cup groups, when the fixtures will be, and which stadiums will be hosting which teams. Some national teams are pleased with their lot, but others not so much. We've gathered the reactions of supporters and coaches of some of the African teams heading to Russia. Let's take a look. 5 African teams, Senegal, Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria and Tunisia, will be heading to Russia in June 2018 for the World Cup. And after the December 1st draw, all the teams know who they'll be facing. Tunisia have been pitted in Group G against England, Belgium and Panama, and the Carthage Eagles coach Nabil Malloul is already eyeing the opener against England. We have talented players right now, players at the peak of their form, young players too. The average age of the Tunisian national team is 26, so we have a shot to play despite that England game, but we have a good chance to go to the second round. Asked about the fate of other African teams. Unfortunately, the Egyptian and the Saudi national teams are in the same group. They meet Russia and Uruguay. And it's such a difficult draw for them, and I hope they can go on to the second round. As for Morocco, it will be even more difficult, especially with Spain and Portugal. Again, Iran is a great nation with Carlos Queiroz, who is a great coach, so it's going to be very difficult. The Moroccan coach Hervé Renard agrees that his men are in a tough group. It is a difficult draw for us. When we have the reigning European champion and one of the best teams in the world, which is Spain, it's a tough group. We also have Iran. The 2 big favorites are Spain and Portugal. It's up to us to go to this World Cup with a lot of motivation and not just to participate. And as for the fans, we watched the draw, it was good, but Morocco are in a tough group. They will play with Portugal and Spain. The Spanish team is very strong. Maybe our team will surprise us, but we wish them success. We can say that the group is difficult and not difficult too. We have Belgium, known for attacking. England, we can hold them. And as for Panama, we have no idea about this team. We'll go to the second round, and that's the most important. And I hope they play football as we saw in 1978. In 1978, Tunisia became the first African nation to ever win a match at a World Cup when they beat Mexico 3-1 in Argentina. They have, however, never reached the knockout stage of a World Cup, having failed in 1978, 1998, 2002 and 2006. Mauritanian football is on the comeback trail. The country's football federation is preparing to host an awards gala to reward the best of the best last season. The gala will also have big names like Drogba and the CAF president in attendance. We are now joined by the federation spokesman Brahim Sodea from Nouakchott. Hello, Brahim. Thanks for staying on the line. Now, the federation is preparing the annual gala to award the best players last season. It's also expected that the great personalities like Drogba and CAF president will be there. Now, does this presence mean a lot to you?
Obviously. In fact, for us, one of the major objectives is to establish the popularity of Mauritanian football in general through this particular event and also put it at international level. So the coming of these great personalities is very positive for the image and even for what will be conveyed later. So it's really very interesting for us that great personalities like Didier Drogba, among others, will grace this event. Before him, there were other stars like Patrick Mboma and other African football stars who attended this event. So it means a lot for both the federation and the organization as a whole.
And a few months ago, we had your president on this show that spoke to us about the ambitious project to change the face of Mauritanian football. Can we say now that things are starting to face up?
Obviously, I think that all those who follow news on African football have seen the progress made by Mauritanian football in recent years. In January, we will participate in our second appearance at Shan. And in terms of sport and administration, there is a lot of progress that has been realized. And for us, it is beneficial, even if we know that there is a lot of work to be done to get closer and compete with the best in Africa. Besides, I know that in the months to come, you will certainly see Mauritanian football improving in the rankings, and that will be a proof that Mauritanian football is on the right track.
All right, that was the spokesperson of the Mauritanian Football Federation, Brahim So Deyan, speaking to us from Nouakchott in Mauritania. Now, according to the latest FIFA rankings, Mauritania are 99th in the world and 24th in Africa. To Zambia. The last day of Zambia's Premier Soccer League was biting as it had 4 teams in line to win the title on the last day. But Zesco managed to edge 2016 winners Zanaco for the league victory on a total of 74 points. Let's have a look at that report. The last day of Zambia's Premier Soccer League saw 2015 winner Zesco crowned on Saturday. The 2017 league had 4 teams in line to win the title on the last day of the league, but Zesco managed to edge 2016 winners Zanaco for the league victory on a total of 74 points, and the 11-time champions Ghana finished third. Kenyan international Jesse Were scored a brace sandwiched by goals from John Chingadu and Lazarus Kambole, which cancelled out Yuli Maziba's 2 goals. Levi Mwanawasa Stadium was stormed by excited Zesco fans after the final whistle as they celebrated the Dollar Giants' 6th league title since winning promotion in 2004. Zanaco and Zesco will play in the 2018 CAF Champions League for finishing 2nd and 1st respectively. The country's 2018 league will start in March. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, will grant a financial subsidy of some $500,000 to each of the 5 African teams heading to the Russia World Cup next year. Now, the financial package will be used mainly to strengthen and improve the technical supervision of each team. Now, at its last meeting held on the 16th of November this year in Rabat, Morocco, the CAF Executive Committee decided to set up an ad hoc committee chaired by CAF First Vice President Kwesi Takai to map out a kind of support to be provided to African representatives to the FIFA World Cup in Russia 2018. Now, the committee, which also has CAF Executive Committee member Kalusha Bwalia and presidents of the football associations of the 5 qualified countries as members, met in Moscow, Russia, on the sidelines of the FIFA World Cup draw last Friday. Now, with barely a month to the African Nation Championship Chan Morocco 2018, referees have launched preparations for a place at the final tournament. 44 referees and assistant referees were in the Egyptian capital of Cairo for a 5-day training program between November 27th and December 1st to select the match officials for the final tournament to be hosted in the Moroccan cities of Casablanca, Marrakesh, Tanger, and Agadir. One of the other topics of interest is the use of video assistant referees, the VARs, to be experimented for the first time in the continent during the CHAN. Here's the report. Video assistant referee technology will be used for the first time at an African tournament at next year's CHAN tournament in Morocco. This was confirmed by the Confederation of African Football's CAF Referees Committee at a meeting on 27th of November in Cairo, Egypt. VAR experiments will, however, start at the quarter-final stage of the tournament that kicks off on January 13th. Each of the 4 host cities in Morocco, Casablanca, Marrakesh, Tanger, and Agadir, will host a quarter-final match. The continent's referees set to officiate at the Russia 2018 World Cup, and with those with previous training in VAR will be called upon for the tournament, designed exclusively for footballers playing in their domestic leagues. Football's world governing body FIFA wants to use the VAR system next year in Russia after it was first used at a global tournament at the 2017 Confederation Cup in the same country. Now, the race for the African Player of the Year and African Player of the Year based in Africa is gradually gathering momentum with the announcement of the shortlisted players for the 2 categories. The initial 30-man list was whittled down to 11 and 10 players who made the cut for the Player of the Year and the Player of the Year based in Africa, respectively. Here's that report. CAF has whittled down the shortlist for its Player of the Year award from 30 names down to 11 nominees. It has also named the final 10 names for its Africa-based Player of the Year award. Uganda and Mamelodi Sundowns goalkeeper Dennis Onyango is still in the running for both awards. New Zealand striker Jeremy Brockie remains in contention for the Africa-based prize. The 30-year-old is the first non-African player to be nominated for a CAF award after he finished the top scorer in the Confederation Cup for South Africa runners-up SuperSport United. Last year's winner Riyad Mahrez of Algeria and Leicester City missed out on the original list of nominees. The second and final phase will involve head coaches or technical directors of the national associations taking part in the voting exercise and 10 members from the Independent Media and TV Consultants Group. The awards gala will take place on Thursday, 4th of January 2018 in Accra, Ghana. And with that, we've come to the end of this week's show. Remember, you can also find this show on our website, www.africanews.com/sport in both French and in English. I've been your host, Victor Moisio. I'll see you next time. Have a fantastic week.